Okay, so for today's class, I told you guys what copywriting was about. I told you guys the most important part of your copywriting. Then I told you guys how to identify your customer avatar. That if you can identify your customer avatar, you will not be able to know what to write about because you will not be able to connect to them emotionally. Then I showed you guys how to identify your customer avatar, Janice's customer avatar, using different conditions: high blood pressure, arthritis, diabetes. Then I went ahead and then I showed you guys after you've identified, like if you are not you how you must be able to answer some questions to identify them. That if you can't answer those questions, you'll not be able to write you'll not be able to write something that your audience will resonate with. So the next thing then was I showed you guys where you can get some of those questions answered, and I give you examples of like Quora, Reddit, Nairaland, Facebook groups and forums, Google, live events, um, physical events, people you are with live. Do you understand? So that is just it. So when you can do that, when you've been able to answer all those questions and then you can identify your customer avatar, the next thing you then begin to do is you begin to write. Do you understand me? So now there's a 19-step structure for Janice pre-sales. I crafted this structure to make it easier for trainees, like so that when you want to write, it will be very easy for you. Do you understand? So the number one is your catchy headline. Then number two, your short introduction. Number three, how the person found out he had the illness, symptoms and earlier signs the person had. Number four, other solutions they must have used that didn't work. Number five, how they've used common solution. Number six, retelling how the symptoms got worse. Number seven, of illness. Number eight, gradually bringing in solution, showing the out. Then number 10, introducing the unique solution. Don't worry, guys, I'm going to show you an example so you not just be lost. So number 11, assurance. Number 12, more doubt, feeling better gradually. 13, going for test for reassurance. Got results that it was finally better, or she was finally better. Then spread the goodness. Spread the goodness. Got back what he loves you to the illness. Feeling grateful and wanting to share the good news. The goodness to every other patient out there. Then your call to action. Okay. So one thing you should know about this 19-step Janice pre-sale structure is it is not something that you need to be so much rigid with. You can be very flexible with it. Do you understand? But then if you don't have that dexterity in writing yet, just stick to it and write what it is you have to write. So now there are some examples here for each condition. There are some examples here I'll be showing you. And then we'll now break it down using the 19th step. Please, who is that? You guys should mute your mic now. AJBA or Rockbasi. I know it's not you guys disturbing. I didn't see the person, but please mute your mic. If you are not speaking, mute your mic. Babatunde Emmanuel, why do you unmute your mic? So mute your mic if you are not speaking. Thank you very much. Okay, so now let me show you guys the first example, high blood pressure. I'm coming. So copy hyperlink. Copy. I don't like using, if I open it from there to open on what's the name of this browser? This annoying browser that comes with your laptop. Why is it not pasting? Okay, I'm coming, please. Let me just open it. So guys, please, I need you to pay attention here well. I'll be giving you assignments based on this. And this is what you'll be using to write. Those of you that make it into journals, this is what you'll be using this pattern to do your writings. Yeah, so let me open it on another browser. I don't like this browser. Okay, so guys, now this is one pre-sale example. So I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to show you the 19-step Janice pre-sale structure in it. One thing you should know is like when you are writing pre-sale copy, it's kind of like you are building a building. Do you understand? Like you'll be laying blocks after blocks. You are just arranging the copy really. You are not how do I put it? You are not writing anything from, it's not like you're writing anything from scratch. You are just laying your blocks. You are building it gradually. So number one thing is the catchy headline. So if you guys look here, this is the headline. So guys, this headline catchy enough. Guys, are you following?
Yes.
Okay. So number one step, the catchy headline. So that's number one step of a Janice. This is number one step, a catchy headline. That's what I just showed you. Number two, a short introduction. So let's go. Short introduction. So here it is. Good day, I'm Mr. Olushola. As simple as that. Just one statement. Good day, I'm Mr. Olushola. Do you understand? That's the short introduction. That's short introduction. Is as simple as that. Good day, I'm Mr. Olushola. So now let's go. Most times this part is always the longest. How the person found out he had the illness. This is number three. This is number three. So let me show you. So now that's what we are going to. June 2019 was one of the happiest days of my life. My daughter was the first child that gained admission into one of the most prestigious higher institutions in Nigeria. She gained admission to study medicine and surgery, and my wife and I were so proud of her. In fact, she was one of the few students who gained admission into the medicine and surgery department that year. June 2019 was a matriculation ceremony, and the entire family traveled down to our school to celebrate her. Unknown to me, this same day was the day. Unknown to me, this same day was the day I would get one of the saddest news of my life. Can you see? This is still under what number, guys? Under what number? This part I'm reading is under what number?
Number three.
Number three.
Yeah, number three. Good. So let's go. Most times that's always the longest part because you'll be building up to trying to make everything make sense. You get? So let's proceed. Unknown to me, that same day was the day I would get one of the saddest things of my life. When all the matriculating students were coming out of the hall, we were on the lookout for Rachel. That's my daughter's name. When we saw her coming out of the hall with this crowd of students, the entire family was whistling and yelling to cheer her on. She was all smiles and really happy, even though she was here to see us. But sadly, this was where it all happened. Can you see? I'm already coming there. How we found out he had the illness, symptoms, earlier signs. As I was about to scream my name to alert her about where we were in the car park, suddenly I felt a sharp pain in my chest. It was as if my heart had locked and stopped beating. It was that bad. Do you understand? See, I'm already making it make sense that he had an heart attack. Do you get? I'm already building up there, but I'm still in number three. I'd never experienced anything like this before. Before I could realize what was happening, I was already on the ground with one hand on my chest and the other resting on the ground. I could hear distant screams, but my eyes were gradually closing and I was fading out. My family's attention was turned from Rachel to me, My wife quickly leaned over to help me. She was asking me repeatedly, Honey, what's wrong? Honey, are you okay? Let's go on. I'm coming. I was in so much pain, I could barely open my mouth to talk. With each gasp I took, I felt the pain in my chest sharper and sharper. I could only mutter the words, my chest, my chest. The voices of my family slowly started fading away, and my eyes started to shut down. The next time I opened my eyes, I was in the hospital bed. Guys, what number am I now? What number am I? I want to see if you guys are following.
Number 3.
Good, good.
Still on
So,
number 3.
Good. I'm glad you guys are following. The next time I opened my eyes, I was in the hospital bed. I sat up trying to understand what was going on around me. But immediately my wife, who was beside me, noticed I was awake. She ran out of the room to alert the nurses. Entering the room, she informed me I had been admitted after my fainting that morning. Rachel was also in the medical center with us in a matriculation gown. Later that day, the doctor came to my room with my test results and he broke the sad news to my family and I. I had hypertension. I was devastated with the news. This was not meant to happen. As far as I was concerned, I was leading a healthy lifestyle. The doctor told me I was lucky to be very close to a medical center, that if I wasn't, we could have been telling another story now. He ran me through some symptoms of hypertension, like, I'm coming on, guys. So what number am I now?
You're still in number 3.
Still in number.
We are still on number 3.
He ran me through some symptoms of hypertension, headache, fatigue, chest weakness, shortness of breath, and asked if I had been experiencing some of this in the past. To be honest, I've been experiencing most of these symptoms, but I never took note of them. I was always just thinking it was stress from work. Do you understand? Like, if you look at all this now, please mute your mic if you are not speaking. Dave, mute your mic. And Dave, I told you yesterday, use your full name. So, who can tell me why I said why I wrote here that I thought it was because of just stress from work? Where did I even write it? Okay, see. Why? Who can tell me why?
Expect this kind of sickness to befall him, so he was thinking he was going to the right path, not knowing that those were symptoms of the disease of hypertension. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm very sorry. A call interrupted my this thing. Let me message the person that I'm busy. A call interrupted our class. Okay. Oh yeah, please go on, Olugbodi.
Okay, sir. I believe These are normal symptoms that are related to stress from the place of work, headache, blurry vision, fatigue, chest pain, weakness. These are just normal symptoms that anyone could have. So maybe that's what he was thinking, not knowing it was a symptom of hypertension. Thank you, sir.
Guys, can you see my screen? Somebody said he's seeing a blank screen. I'm seeing it from my phone. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Yes, sir, we can see
Yes,
you.
sir, we can see your screen.
Okay. God's Day. I think it's from your net. It's from your end. It's from your end. So maybe you should leave the meeting and join back. It's from your end. Okay. All right. That's good. So if you look at all these things, they don't look out. They don't look so much out of this world. See, that's why they only say hypertension is a silent killer, because you will not know. You just think it's normal tiredness, fatigue. I'm just stressed. Like if I rest, headache. Anybody that is stressed can have headache. Blurry vision. Maybe you might feel I've been working at work. I've been staring at computer screen for too long. That's the reason why I have blurry vision. Fatigue. Anybody can fatigue. Chest pain. You might just feel it's a one-off since it's not happening frequently. Weakness. Anybody can be weak. Shortness of breath might be as a result of tiredness. So most people would not know. Most people that have high blood pressure don't know until they go for a test or to the medical center. Do you understand? That was why I said I thought it was as a result of stress or work. Okay, let's go on. I was always just thinking it was stress from work, and if I just had enough rest, I will be well recharged again. He put me on some medication and advised me to reduce my salt intake, exercise more, get more sleep time, reduce stress, amongst others. I followed this advice religiously and used my medications consistently too, even though I had a busy schedule and it was difficult for me. Days of using these medications and following his advice turned into weeks and weeks into months, but there was no difference. So guys, where am I now? Where am I now?
So you're in number 4.
Number 4. Number 4 now. Solidly on number 4.
Yeah, good. The doctor already gave him, I'm coming. The doctor already put him on some medications and gave him some recommendations. Do you understand? Then now we are getting to the part where it did not work. Do you get? So, but there was no difference. My BP was still very high and I was at the risk of a heart attack. When this didn't work, I tried several concussions and locally made herbs my wife introduced me to, but none of this worked too. I was going from one hospital to another and from one concussion to another. In fact, one of the concussion I used gave me a serious side effect that left me having a partial stroke for a week. So, what number are we now?
Number 5.
Good.
Number 5.
Number 5, sir.
Good. Common solutions. Agbo and herbs and concussions. Agbo, all those things, they are common solutions that people use. So retelling how symptoms got worse, that's where I am now. You guys, you missed that. So if you notice here, I've already gotten to this part. I'm coming. See, this part. See, how the symptoms go worse. I've gotten to this part. So can you see, in fact, one of the concussion I used gave me a serious side effect that left me having a partial stroke for a week. So his symptoms got worse at that point. At that point, I had almost given up. It was as if these people were out to get money from desperate people like me with their so-called solutions. I didn't know what to do anymore. I tried every solution I knew there was. My wife had also gone from pillar to post, trying to see what could help me, but all to no avail. So see when, okay, we've done this. So what number are we now?
Number 7, sir.
Number 7.
My wife had also gone from pillar to post, trying to see what could help me, but all to no avail. My world was crumbling down, but still I had to keep hope because of the family I had to cater for. One fateful day, my wife saw a post on her Facebook. It was a video about a forgotten method Indian used in completely reversing their high blood pressure. So what number are we now? I don't want to go back to that this time. I want to see. What number are we?
That is number 8, sir.
Number 8. Number
Gradually
8.
getting solutions.
Now, gradually
Right.
bringing in solution. Yeah. Okay. One faithful day, my wife saw a post on her Facebook. It was a video about a forgotten method Indian using completely reversing the high blood pressure. She showed me the posts, but I stated clearly that I was not interested. That these people are just time wasters. So she played the video and started watching by herself. Just a few minutes into the video, I overheard a statement that made me curious, and I decided to join her in watching the video. A few minutes in, I learned that a Nigerian doctor who is based in India had found a natural and effective way to normalize high blood pressure using what he calls the 2-in-1 HBP destroyer. So, guys, okay, we are seeing number 8. Let's go on. This was new, I thought, so I kept on watching. The video directed us to take some steps, which we did. To be honest, I was still very skeptical in coming. After the first week of following this method, I didn't see any change. Coming on. So now, where are we? I've already showing doubt.
Number 9.
Number 7.
I'd say number 9.
This is disturbing. I don't understand how you just suddenly unmute your mic and start stopping everybody. It's not that you just joined the meeting, no. Okay, so now showing doubt. See this part, to be honest, I was still very skeptical after I watched the video. That's under the first part, this part of showing doubt. Do you understand? Then now we are going to introduce using the unique solution, number 10. So let's go on. Who is disturbing me? Oh, Jesus. Okay, I'm coming. Oh, sorry. I made a mistake. So gradually bringing in solution, then showing doubt. Gradually bringing in solution was when his wife started watching the video. Then showing doubt was when he said, "These people are time wasters." Do you understand? Let me show you guys. Where is it? So, yeah, this part. Do you understand? Then introducing the unique solution is this paragraph where we talked about the 2-in-1 HVP destroyer. This paragraph. So that's the part of introducing the unique solution. So let's go on. So now assurance. Let's go on. Okay, so the video directed us to take some steps, which we did. To be honest, I was still very skeptical. After the first week of following this method, I didn't see any changes. I almost concluded that this was one of those scams again. But my wife encouraged me to keep trying it because the video stated that people who follow this method started seeing results from the 3rd to 4th week. So I kept trying it. So this is under. So this part is kind of the beginning of assurance. Is the beginning of assurance. I'm coming. This part, because you can't just use the drug and get instant relief. You understand? So let's proceed. So I kept trying it. On the 3rd week, I noticed I was regaining my strength. I wasn't as weak as I used to be. My body pain had reduced. So I checked my blood pressure reading and it was lower than it was last week. It was unbelievable at first. So I decided to keep using it till the next week to be sure. This is still under assurance. So we're still under assurance. Do you understand? We are still under assurance. See, one thing I told you guys is you can be flexible with these things. So if you notice, I mixed up assurance, then I went to more doubt, then I started moving to feeling better gradually. Do you understand me? His wife assured him that he should keep trying it, that it's going to work. Then he was still in doubt. Then he started using it. Then he was not feeling as much pain as he used to. Do you understand? He was not feeling as much pain as he used to. Wasn't feeling as much body pain as he used to. And when he checked his blood pressure reading, it was lower than it was before. Do you understand? So now we are under number 13, feeling better gradually. So it was unbelievable at first. So I decided to keep using it to the next week to be sure. By the end of the fourth week, I took my blood pressure reading, and this time it had dropped by like 10 points. I thought my BP checker was 40. So I should have said monitor. Yeah. So I decided to pay a visit to the hospital the next day to confirm. Around 10 a.m. on Saturday. So what number are we now, guys?
Number 14.
Okay, good. Number 14.
Number 14, sir. Number 14.
Going for tests to get reassurance. Good. So let's go on. Around 10 a.m. on Saturday, I arrived at the hospital and described everything I was feeling to my doctor. He took some tests, and when the test results came back, he was extremely surprised. He didn't believe what he was saying. Excuse me, my reading showed that my BP was near normal, and I was now recording 125/83 mmHg. This is the unit for measuring what's it called? Blood pressure. And I was recording 125/83 of a heart attack. This was unbelievable. So my doctor asked me to come back the next day to confirm my readings. Who can tell me why?
For reassurance.
Yes, but that's it definitely, but there's more to it.
Actually, because the doctor gave him, so he was unsure that how will this
Your line
possibly
is
come to
breaking
pass.
up. Okay, that's
Can you hear me,
also
sir?
it. But yes, I can hear you now. That's also it, but like there's a specific reason. Who else wants to try? Okay, so let me just tell you guys. The reason why is because blood pressure reading can vary at different points in time. If I go and play ball now, and I come back like a minute after playing ball, and then you take my blood pressure reading, you think I'm at the risk of heart attack or high blood pressure that time. Why? Because my pulse has risen a lot. Do you understand? My pulse has risen because I just finished a physical activity. Do you understand? Then, for example, let's say I've been working under sun since morning, and then you take my blood pressure reading at that point in time, it will be high. Do you understand me? So most times, doctors don't just take one reading and conclude that you have high blood pressure. No, they need to check at different points in time to get. Then they will now calculate the aggregate. That's the average to know to confirm if you're at risk of high blood pressure or not. Do you guys understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We understand, sir.
Okay, so let's proceed. When I have at the hospital, what number are we now? What number are we still?
Number 15.
Let me see, number 15.
Number 15.
Yes.
Number 15, sir.
Okay,
Number
we are just getting to number 15. That's good. That's good. So when I have at the hospital the next day, things are big now. Who are these people? Comfort, Agbaji, and Abdulamin. Please mute your mic. I'm sorry, Abdurrahman Abdulamin. Comfort, mute your mic. When I have at the hospital the next day, a Sunday, he took my BP reading again. My doctor looked confused. Told me my BP reading was now 120/80 mmHg, even lower than yesterday's reading. I was elated and full of. We are getting to number 15 now. Please, your network is bad. Mute your mic. I was elated and full of joy when this was confirmed. I wasn't following any strict diet plan. Neither was I exercising, and I wasn't even getting enough sleep time either. Yet my blood pressure level was normalized. So what number are we now?
Number 15.
Number 15, sir.
Yeah, number 15.
16.
No, yeah, we are just getting to number 16, but we are still in this thing. Okay, number 16 is spread the goodness. You get, like, he wants to share with everyone. I was a little full on joy. I wasn't following any strict diet plan. Neither was I exercising, and I wasn't getting enough sleep time either. Yet my blood pressure level was normalized. I was so happy that my years of suffering were finally over, and I'll be able to spend more time with my family in good health. Now I can tell you I'm living a happy life. My second child wrote his WAEC. I'm not going to decipher this part for you guys. It's you guys that will decipher the numbers that everywhere fall under here. Do you get? But as I said, this 19-step structure, I did not write it so that I must follow it. You can be very flexible to mix it up. Do you get? You can decide to even exclude some, and there are several copies I've written, different formats. You get? So just don't just how do I put it now? Don't just be too rigid with it. You can be very flexible with it. But if you know you can't do that, just stick to it and use the form and use the 19-step structure. So yes, my blood yes, I wasn't following any strict diet plan, neither was I exercising, and I wasn't getting enough sleep time either. Yes, my blood sugar level was normalized. I was so happy that my years of suffering were finally over, and I'll be able to spend more time with my family in good health. Now I can tell you that I'm living a happy life. My second child wrote his wife, so he's going to gain admission soon. Our last born is also doing well in school, so also wants to study medicine like her elder sister Rachel, who is now in year 3. I wrote this, I think, last year, so that's why it's year 3. Every day I thank God for the solution I discovered in that video. And I also thank God for my wife who showed it to me. If you also want to watch the video, click the button below to watch the video. So guys, that's it all. So try and look at it, decipher everything. Finally got the result that I was better. Spread the goodness. You've been following, you'll be able to tell where spread the goodness is. Got back what he lost due to the illness. He was talking about how he's now living a happy life, talking about how his children, talking about how he has regained everything, how he's living a happy life now, feeling grateful and wanting to share the goodness. Feeling grateful, he was talking about how his second child too will gain admission soon, and how the child wants to study medicine. Then goodness wants to share the goodness with everybody, every patient out there. So every day I thank God for the solution I discovered in this video. Thank God for my wife who showed it to me. So this is him wanting to share the goodness. Then your call to action, your button. That's so that's that for high blood pressure. So do you guys understand so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, we do.
Let's look at other examples. Coming. So let's look at diabetes. They will look at arthritis, and then I'll teach you guys how to write headlines for your copies. So we'll end the class. So let's go back to the beginning. So a catchy headline. Guys, is this headline catchy enough? Oh, sorry. I've not opened it. Let me open it with this. I don't like using this my Explorer. Please. Okay, so what's the first thing we have? We have a catchy headline. That's number one. So looking at this headline, is it catchy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
all right.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's number one.
I
So
know.
then
For me, I
we're
wouldn't say
going
it's
to
that
number
catchy,
two.
sha.
Yes, I want to
Not-
comment. Make the news are serious.
You see, can you see what you are even saying? Promise, this thing. Anyhow, Sha, what was my own?
No, I was not the one who said that actually.
So who said it?
No, I also heard it from my own end. What I said was that for me, the heading wasn't too catchy for me. That was what I said.
Okay, well, one thing you should know is all the examples I'm showing you here, all these pre-sales, they've all done over 300 orders. Do you understand? So it's not, if it was not catchy enough, it would not have done, all the examples I'm showing you here, it would not have done up to that many orders. You understand?
Wow.
So these things
Yes.
are things that have been proven in the market. Do you understand? To work. They are not, like I was telling you yesterday, everything you guys are being taught, you are being taught from life experience. All tutors that are coming to teach you, they are people that have gotten results. Do you understand me? So, and whatever you put
Yes,
out at the end of the day,
okay.
the markets that will decide. See, I've written some copies that personally I
Exactly.
did not like, and is converting. Do you understand? That I
Wow.
did not really like personally. So at the end of the day, it's the market that decides. Do you understand? It's the market
Exactly.
that will
Yes,
give
sir.
you orders. It's not you that you give yourself orders. Okay, so let's
Exactly.
go on.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So my 14 years old son had to drive me to a medical center in an emergency when I fainted due to diabetes. This is how it happened. Okay, so number one, a catchy headline. I don't want us to spend too long. I would have stayed more explaining, but I want to keep the class short. So now let's go to number two, a short introduction. So number two, today we talk to Mr. Chinedu Obiora, a 50 years old man who reverses diabetes. He tells us how. Good day, Mr. Chinedu Obiora. People call me Nedu. From year to year, that's the introduction. Very short. Your introduction should be very short. Your introduction should be more about like the person's name, then maybe the person's occupation, or like the person is just giving an hint of how the thing happened to him. So you can say something like, "Good day, Ola David. I began to experience symptoms of diabetes in March 2023. Boom, that's a short introduction. Then you start writing. Do you understand me? So let's go on. Okay, so now we're going to how we found out he had the illness, symptoms, then earlier signs had. So let's proceed. So on this fateful day in April 2023, I can't remember the particular dates now. I was arguing with my son. You know how teenagers can be. I had seized his phone. His mom wasn't around. She had traveled to the village, and it was only him, his younger sister, and I left at home. So I thought, why don't you play Ludo like we used to? Like we used to have. I made a mistake here. Should not have added this. Like we used to when they were younger, since they were on holiday. We go playing, and I started against my 12-year-old daughter. I'm coming. I defeated my daughter with ease in just a few minutes. It was now my son and I playing, but I wouldn't get off his phone even after I told him several times. For the fun time we're having not to be ruined, I seized his phone. Then an argument between us started, and for a while this continued. It became so heated. I started screaming at the top of my voice. Suddenly, I started feeling dizzy. Then I fell to the ground, and before I knew it, I became partly unconscious. My son and daughter were only 14 and 12 at the time. 12 years old at the time. What were they to do? Excuse me. Guys, what number are we? What number are we?
We're in number 2. We're still trying
Number
to know
3, sir.
how we found out
Number
the
3.
illness.
Okay, all right.
Number 3, sir.
That's good. So it was just the three of us at home. We lived in an estate, so they couldn't reach out to our. Sorry, we lived in an estate, so they couldn't reach out to our neighbors that late at night. They're already panicking. Even if they were to call the emergency number 112, this is Nigeria, they wouldn't pick. And if they did, they would take hours to come. All my kids could do was call their mother, who at first was scared when she heard what had happened on the phone, but later gained her composure and asked them to remain calm and get me into the car in whatever way they could. They did. Until now, it still baffles me how they managed to pull it off. My 14-year-old son had to drive me and his sister to the closest private hospital. Fortunately, he had been watching me drive and had been teaching him a thing or two about driving in our estate. I was also fortunate that my wife had traveled with the manual gear car. It was just the automatic gear car left at home at the moment. So who can tell me why I made these statements here, from here to here?
I think you're trying to justify the headline that it was a 14-year-old that drove Nedu to the hospital. So you have to give reason on how he knew how to drive, and that's just what I think.
Okay, that's good. Sam Olugbodi, sorry.
Okay, sir. So I believe the man was trying to explain how the 14-year-old got to know how to drive and what kind of vehicle, being automatic, not manual.
Yeah, that's good. Then also the fact that the hospital was very close and it wasn't so far off. Do you understand? If you had to drive like on express now, that would be very unrealistic for somebody that's just been driving in an estate. Do you understand? So let's proceed. We arrived in the hospital around 12:05 a.m. in the midnight, and I was immediately admitted and put on a drip. The following day, I became fully conscious again. By evening time, my wife was already with me. She had traveled down from her village to be with me in coming. Shortly after this, the doctor stepped into the room. He asked me a series of questions and took my blood sample for a test. When he came back with the test results, he broke the sad news to me. Mr. Obiora, you are suffering from type 2 diabetes. He said, may I ask you for a moment? I was confused. He explained further that the high blood sugar from diabetes damaged the nerves in my body that kept my blood pressure steady. This led to unusually low blood pressure and caused me to collapse, becoming partly unconscious. Do you get? What number are we now, guys?
Still number 3, sir.
Good. So I'm glad you guys are following. I recall that some of the symptoms the doctor had drawn me through before he diagnosed me with I recall that some of the symptoms the doctor had drawn me through before he diagnosed me with type 2 diabetes has been reoccurring for months now. I've been urinating more frequently.
Number 3, sir.
More fatigue. Yeah, my fingers and toes had been tingling. My vision was getting blurry. The cut I had on my finger took far too long to heal up. I just listed all this. Why? So that people that are skimming, I post on my pre-sales, so that people that are skimming through, because not everybody will read it line by line. Some people just skim through, so that once they see all these things, they'll start seeing that, wow, these are symptoms I'm going through. Do you understand? So that to even speak more to people like that. Okay, so let's go on. I just laid there on my bed, depressed. My family was also watching me. They were sad as well. The doctor recommended I started leading a new and healthy lifestyle. They advised me to start. So what number are we now? What number are we getting to? Let me put it that way.
7, number 3, going to number 4.
Yeah, good. We're still number 3. But we're already heading to number 4. So when you are writing your own, like, let it transition properly. Do you understand? You don't just end it like that. Let it transition. Can you see how I'm transitioning from number to number? No, there is nobody that will read this thing except I tell you, or if you're a copywriter, that you'll be able to tell that this thing was assembled. Do you understand? Anybody that reads this thing, they cannot tell that it was assembled. But you as a copywriter, or because you've been taught, you see that, wow, this person assembled the copy. Do you understand? But where I was transitioning, you would never know. Do you get? Sorry, guys, excuse me. I want to plug in my laptop. I'm coming, guys, please. Okay, guys, so I've got it in now. Let's go on. So, okay, can you guys hear me? Are you
Yes,
listening?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just laid there on my bed depressed. My family was also watching me. They were sad as well. The doctor recommended that I started leading in a new and healthy lifestyle. He advised me to start exercising more, limit food with high sugar or fat, reduce carbohydrate consumption, and consume more vegetables. Guys, remember that yesterday I was asking you that what would they need to get rid of? Some of the questions is what have they need to let go of? Do you understand? So this is the important. Let me take you get there. This is the importance of carrying out your research. I was saying, what have they used trying to get rid of their pain? What have they let go of trying to get rid of their pain? If you can see, yeah, I was saying limit food with high sugar or fat, reduce carbohydrate consumption. This is to show you the importance of the research you are carrying out. Do you understand me? So it's showing that the importance of research that that all those things is not just for fun. Able to write something, do you get? So that when they read it, see, sometimes you write copies and some people will message you, they will be telling you like the story of my life. This thing is not a joke. Like people will message you and tell you that. And so that's why you have to take your time, carry out your research, identify your pattern, all the questions they're asking, then come up with, then before you begin writing your copy. Okay, so let's proceed. He also prescribed some medications that were meant to keep my blood sugar level low. My blood sugar reading at this time was 259 milligram per DL. This is the unit for measuring blood sugar level. So I followed the doctor's recommendations religiously and used my medications consistently. I didn't see any change. I should have added but here. I didn't see any change after a few weeks of usage. But since I'm not the type to expect an instant result, I kept using the medication, and I was doing as doctors I was doing as the doctor recommended. After months of doing this, my blood sugar level was 6 milligram per DL higher than it was before. Recommendation and using the type medication. My sugar level never. Please now, we stop being us now. What? I noticed that you've been disturbing since. Next time you open your mic to disturb us. And then Frank Precious. Anybody that disturbs me again, I'll put them in waiting room straight up. Understand how you got your mic and start disturbing. It shows you are not paying attention. That's how somebody was saying, make you be like, say I serious. Okay now, don't worry. You still cast. That's the thing. And if you know you won't be serious. I don't understand some people. Okay. All through this period of following my doctor's recommendation, 259 milligram per DL. So it's discouraging. So what number are we now, guys?
Number 6, sir.
Number 6 now.
Okay.
And number 6.
Well, I'll say C. We are number. Other solutions used that didn't work. The doctor's solution, we are in number 4. We are leaving number 4. Do you understand? But it is not in every C. You can write a copy. I'll use common solution, and you will not even talk about common solution the person used, or you might even not talk about how the person visited the doctor and using the doctor's recommendation. You can just go straight to how the person started using common solutions and how the symptoms got worse. Do you understand? The story you still makes sense well. You get, as I was saying, this thing is not something to be very rigid with. It's just come up with something good that your audience will connect to. That's the most important thing. Your audience does not care about any 19-step pre-step structure. I'm just teaching you to make your writing easier. It was discouraging. I stopped using my medication and started looking for other solutions myself. I went from trying this supplement to another, but none worked. By this time, I was frustrated. So yeah, it's just using other common solutions. Do you understand? Say I just even stated it just a little. I did not even emphasize on it so much. So this part I highlighted is number 5. You get? So now we are going to number 6. Let me see if I even added number 6 yet. By this time, I was frustrated. In fact, I gave up and stopped checking my blood sugar level because it's made me even more depressed. It's made me even more depressed. Coming. So I did not add retelling how the symptoms got worse. I just went straight to a feeling of giving up and hopelessness. Guys, can you see? So this is to show that you can be flexible with it. So let's proceed. So, in fact, I gave up and stopped checking my blood sugar level because it made me even more depressed. I couldn't even enjoy time with my family anymore. Frank Emmanuel Linus, mute your mic. I couldn't even enjoy time with my family anymore because the thought of diabetes. Sorry, I was here. In fact, I gave up and stopped checking my blood sugar level because it made me even more depressed. I couldn't even spend time with my family anymore because the thought of diabetes was constantly on my mind. Sorry, excuse me. I started spending more time with my family because my days were numbered. What number are we now, guys? What number are we?
Number 7, sir.
Yeah, good. We are
7.
saying, Giving up and hopelessness. Good. One time at my kids' PTA meeting, I met with Mr. Henride. He was the father to my daughter's best friend. He was in his 50s, so we got along. He talked majorly about the challenges of raising kids at that age. As our conversation went along, I mentioned how the fear of diabetes might rob me of many more years with my kids. He empathized with me and told me he used to suffer from diabetes a couple of months ago too. He requested for my phone number, and when I gave it to him, he immediately sent me a link to a video. He asked me to watch it when I got home. That I was going to find something that will help with my diabetes in the video. I thought to myself, here we go again. One of those videos that will tell you to reduce sugar intake and exercise more. So yeah, guys, what number are we? I want to see. What number are we?
We are
Number 9.
gradually bringing in the solution.
I would say number 8. Gradually bring in the
Number
solution.
8 and 9. Good. Who said number 9?
Yes.
Number 9 is there showing doubt. How did he show doubt? Yeah. See when he showed doubt. So
I think he showed that when he said, "Here we go again." One of those videos I tell you to do all those stuff.
Exactly. So this is him showing doubt. Because see, the thing is, you have to make this thing as realistic as possible. Why? The thing is, if you've been doing something, let's say, for example, if you buy courses online, I'm somebody that buy courses a lot. See, the truth is, if you buy 50 courses, it's 2 that will just help you. A lot of all these course creators, they will just be over-promising. And I'm sure some of you might buy a lot of courses. It might be courses about making money online. It might be courses about like improving a skill you have or learning a skill. Do you understand? That's why a lot of them target newbies. Because newbies will still be novices and they will not be able to decipher whether what they are teaching is a lie or not. Do you understand? So imagine somebody like you or somebody that's bought a lot of online courses that they promise them that you make this, you do so within this short duration. Show them some fake this thing that this person did that, even though you don't know how to, you've never seen internet in your life, like you still make money, blah blah blah. You know how they always lie, always overhype all these things. A lot of all these people. So if you come and tell somebody like that buy this course this course helped me, except you're the person's close family friend or something, that person will say that person will be in doubt now. Definitely, the person will still be skeptical. Do you understand? So even though the person will give in, the person will need a lot of cajoling, the person will need a lot of convincing. Do you understand? But it might not be as difficult as this, because in this situation now we are talking about health. If your health is at stake, you'll be much more willing to try anything that will help you. That's the truth. Do you understand? Although you still be in doubt, but you'll be much more willing compared to somebody that is buying, probably making money online courses or courses that can improve your skills. Do you understand, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that's it. Okay, so we've done number 9 now. So let's proceed. Okay, but I didn't want to be rude, so I watched the video that night before I slept. The video was a revelation. I learned in the video that a Nigerian doctor who is based in India discovered a natural herb that helps to normalize blood sugar level almost completely, which he called the diabetes destroyer. He claimed this natural herb was has a near 100% success rate. 97% success rate was what he stated specifically. What number are we now, guys?
Number 10, sir.
Number 10, gradually bringing in solutions. Oh, sorry. Yeah, introducing the unique solution.
Yes, number 10.
Yeah. So 97% success rate was what stated specifically. I followed the instruction in the video, but I was still very skeptical. I thought, what if I fall under 3% of people it won't work for? After a week of following the method in the video, there was still no noticeable change. But I wanted to be sure, so I went to my doctor to check my blood sugar level out of curiosity. It was still around 259 milligram per DL. I met with Mr. Henry and he spoke to me about what was going on. But what am I reading? I met to Mr. Henry and spoke to him about what was going on. But he encouraged me to keep following the method in the video, insisting that it will start having an effect around the 3rd week. Guys, what number are we now?
Number 11 and 12.
11, sir.
11 and 12.
Good. After introducing the unique solution, the video was a revelation, so he was a bit convinced. So that's under assurance. Do you understand? But then he started using it for about 3 weeks. He didn't see any change. Do you get? So it was more doubt. So he went to meet with Mr. Henry, his daughter's best friend's father. So he meant to meet with him because it was now in more doubt. Do you get? So, but he encouraged me to keep following the method in the video, insisting that it start having an effect around the 3rd week. Honestly, I didn't believe him, but for some reason, I kept at it. I had nothing to lose anyway. Around the 4th week, after meeting with Mr. Henry, we're doing some rearrangement at home and getting rid of old stuff. Coincidentally, I found my glucometer, the device I used in checking my blood sugar level at home. I decided to try it one last time before throwing it in the dustbin. I used it and my blood sugar level read 137 milligram per DL. This can be true, I thought. The glucometer is probably malfunctioning because it is old. I went to the doctor the same day to confirm if this reading was correct. The doctor took my reading once again and he was shocked. My diabetes reading had gone from 259 milligram per DL to 137 milligram per DL within 4 weeks. So what number are we now, guys?
About 14. 13 and 14. 14.
Okay, 13 and 14. 13 and 14.
Yes, sir.
Good.
13 and 14.
Let's go on. So, no, not just 13 and 14. 13, 14, 15. Yeah,
Yes,
good.
sir.
It got result and was finally better.
Into yes,
So
sir.
now, let's go. So let's go on now. It was cool. I was so happy I couldn't even contain my joy. I got home as fast as possible to break the news to my wife and kids. They were just as elated as I was when I heard the news. What number are we now?
The number where you spread the good news.
So
That's number
okay.
16.
Number 16,
Number
sir.
16.
Okay.
Number 16.
So let's go on. They were just as elated as I was when I heard the news. My 12-year-old daughter said, "Daddy, does that mean you can now have ice cream?" I didn't even know how to respond to the question. I was so happy to even say a single word. Mr. Henry was the next person I called. I broke the good news to him also and apologized for not believing him earlier on. He just chuckled and said, "I told you it would work." I'm so glad I can now spend quality time with my family in good health without thinking that my days are numbered and that I can die anytime soon. In fact, we even joke about how my kids carried me and drove me to the hospital when I showed signs of diabetes. I blessed the day I met Mr. Henry, and I'm forever grateful that he sent me the link to watch the video that revealed the permanent solution to my diabetes. Click the button below to watch the video presentation now. This one is just extra. Note the video won't be up for long. Then your call to action. Do you understand? So if you go through this part well, you will see that it does not follow the direct order from after finally better 16 to 16, 17, 18 did not follow the direct order. As I said, you can be very flexible with it. Do you understand? So that's that for diabetes. So please note down your questions. At the end of the class, you ask your questions. So let's do another one. Let's do for don't step on it. Yeah, let's do for arthritis. That will be the last one. So I'll teach you guys how to write headlines. Then I'll give you assignments. Okay, guys, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We
Yes,
can
sir.
see it.
And now
Yes,
let's go back to the 19.
yes, I can see the screen.
Let's go back to 19-step structure again. So looking at this headline, is it catchy? Let me move it to.
Yes, it
Yes, sir.
is.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all
Yes,
right.
sir.
So I wish I knew earlier. I'm running with this freestyle at the moment, sir. It's still converting well for me. I've written it since last year. I'm still converting well. Okay. I wish I knew earlier that BAM, painkillers, and creams were only worsening my joint pain. 26 years old, widowed Nigerian mother who battled arthritis for years shares her story. Okay, now let's proceed. The number one is short introduction. So today we speak with Oluchi Obasi, a 26 years old widow who thought arthritis was only an old people condition. Good day, I'm Oluchi Obasi. So year to year, that's short introduction. Do you understand? Now we are going to number three. How she found out she had symptoms, earlier signs she had. So let's go on. Okay. Good day, I'm Oluchi Obasi. I beg now, please mute your mic. Franklinus and Abdurrahman Amin. Franklinus, I don't understand. Why muting your mic anyhow? Victory Charles, you too, mute your mic. Victory Charles, mute your mic. Okay, good day, I'm Oluchi Obasi. I love more. Mute your mic, mute your mic. If you are not speaking, don't unmute your mic. Okay, guys, so let's go on. Good day, I'm Oluchi Obasi. I lost my husband in 2020 to COVID after I had just given birth. And since then, things have been really challenging for me. After my late husband died, his relatives sent my baby and I packing without anything. So I just had to move in with my elder sister in Lagos. My sister and her husband did everything they could to support my baby and I, but it wasn't enough. I didn't want to become, sorry, but it wasn't enough. And I didn't want to become a burden and a liability to them. So I started looking for jobs for myself. I applied for several jobs, but it was rejections upon rejection. I had to eventually settle for a low-paying cleaner job when I couldn't get any job as a graduate. The job was a strenuous one, coupled with spending hours in Lagos traffic. At the end of every day, I was always stressed. I began to develop joint pain around my wrists, neck, shoulders, knees, ankles, waist, and lower back. But the pain on my lower back and knees were the worst. Whenever I sat or bent over, it would seem like I was being pierced at my lower back with a knife. Guys, what number are we?
Number 3, sir.
Okay. The pain on my knee was also unbearable. My knees would occasionally become stiff, and I would start feeling sharp pains on my knee joints. But I would frequently use agbo, local herbs, to numb the pain and give myself a temporary relief before the pain would come back worse after the effect of the agbo wears off. I kept on repeating this cycle for a while until it became too late for me. A particular day at work, I beg now, mute your mic. Why are Nigerians always like this now? It's not hard to mute your mic now. A particular day at work, while I was mopping the office staircase floors, I felt that extremely sharp pain again on my knees. I tried moving to the side of the step to at least rest on the railings, but I couldn't because my knees were stiff. I tried to at least drag my feet forcefully so I could lean on the staircase railing. But as I was trying to, I lost my footing, rolled down the staircase, and got slammed on the ground floor with terrible force. I immediately became unconscious, and the next time I opened my eyes, I was in the hospital bed. I had been admitted. Excuse me. My sister was also present. A colleague from work had alerted her when I fell and became unconscious. She was so glad to see how I had finally opened my eyes. And before she could open her mouth to speak, the doctor walked in. He examined the injuries I sustained and asked how exactly I felt and what resulted in me falling from the staircase. I told him exactly how I had been feeling. I had been feeling severe joint pain for a while now, and even before the accident. So he decided to run some tests and scan me. When he came back, he broke one of the saddest things of my life to me. I had a severe case of arthritis. What? I was surprised. Wasn't arthritis an old people condition? I was just 26 years old. I asked the doctor. He told me arthritis being an old people disease is just a popular misconception. It is not true. Anyone, anyone around any age can develop arthritis, most especially if they already have these symptoms: waist pain, lower back pain, knee pain, joint pain, general joint pain, blah, 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 like that, like that. So let's go on. I'd been experiencing most of these symptoms he mentioned, so I burst into tears. I'd recently just lost my husband, and I didn't have any money. And as if that wasn't enough, now I had to battle arthritis again. My sister consoled me, and she promised to foot my bills and support me whatever way she could. The day I was to be discharged, the doctor prescribed some medicines, balms, and also gave me some recommendations like I should do more stretching exercises, stop junk food, and eat much more vegetables. Guys, what number are we now? Or what number are we getting to?
3 and 4.
Okay, we are in 3. We are getting to 4. All right. So we are at the point of transition to 4 now. I began using my medicines and I followed the doctor's recommendations too. I resumed work shortly after I was discharged, and I was assigned to a less tasking work because of what had happened. After a month of using my pain relief medicines and following the doctor's recommendation, I wasn't feeling any better. In fact, my arthritis had gotten far worse than it was before. Just doing mere things like opening a bottle of water was difficult for me because I would feel extreme pain on my wrist when I tried to. Clapping during service in church was also a challenge. My joint pain had become extreme. I went back to using my agbo, local herbs, but at best, they would give me a temporary relief for a few hours, then come back worse. What number are we now, guys?
Common solution.
Good. We are now in common solutions.
Number
Good.
5.
Number 4, sir.
Good. No, we've gotten common solutions now. She has used agbo, all those common things you get. So as if that wasn't bad enough, things got bad at work too. I was not able to perform, so I was sacked. I was constantly in severe joints and body pain, and also at the health risk. I was with no husband, a child to take care of, no source of livelihood, and no source of help other than my sister, who had obviously become a liability to. I'd already given up on finding a solution for my arthritis and accepted my fate. When my sister came back from work one particular day, guys, what number have we done and what number are we now?
We are done with number 7, going to number 8.
Done with number 5. I go to number 8.
Yeah, so we are done with number 5. We are done number 6 too. So we've done feeling of giving up and hopelessness. Now we are in gradually bringing in the solution. Okay, let's go on. Okay, when my sister came back from work one particular day, she told me she had watched a video on arthritis. She said the video was about a special combination that helps reverse arthritis in 90 days or less. She said her God told her that following the instruction in that video would help me reverse my arthritis, and she wanted me to give it a try. I wasn't so sure about this. I thought, if this really works, how come no one has ever told me about it? Excuse me. But I reluctantly began following the method in the video just because my sister encouraged me to. After 2 weeks of following the instruction in the video, I wasn't seeing any change. My joint pain was still as bad as ever, but my sister kept encouraging me to keep going on. What number are we now, guys?
Number 9.
At number 9, sir.
Number 9, showing doubts.
Are we number 9? We are not. Are you sure?
Yes,
No,
Transition
showing that.
It's
to
showing
number
that
10, actually.
no, we are
Number
not in
nine.
number 9 anymore. If you look at it well,
Number
introducing the
10.
unique solution.
Number
Yeah.
See,
11.
we've already. Let
Just
me show you
transition
where
to
we
number 10.
introduce the unique solution.
Number 13.
See, this is where we introduce the unique solution. Can you see? Yeah, I told you guys you can be flexible with this thing. So, and after we do that, then we now talked about how she began using it for 2 weeks and she did not see any change. Do you understand? But then I stand now kept encouraging. So now I skipped assurance,
Number
and then
12.
I went straight to more doubt. Straight up. Do you understand? I skipped assurance and went straight to more doubt. So we are number 12 now. Okay, so let's proceed. Where was I? Where was I again? Okay, after 2 weeks of I wasn't seeing any change. I don't think blah blah blah. Okay, where was I? Where was I? Where was I? Okay, she said I got told guys, please remind me where I was. Like my eyes can't find it. Okay, I've seen this. But I currently began following the method in the video just because my sister encouraged me to. After 2 weeks of following the instruction in the video, I wasn't seeing any change. My joint pain was still as bad as ever. Okay, I've done this far, but my sister kept encouraging me to keep going on. That the video said the special combination begins to have a full effect in about 90 days. So the surprising thing is that I wasn't even up to 90 days for me to start seeing a complete turnover. I wrote turnover over. Hey, I'll remove it. Around the 4th week of usage, I noticed my joint pain had begun to reduce. So what number are we now? Okay, let me just do all this part.
Number
What
13,
number?
sir. Number 13, sir.
Good. I could now walk around with little pain. My body pain had reduced, and I could bend my back without feeling that sharp pain on my lower back. This was really good. Why was I writing rubbish? This was really, I should have added a. Okay, let's just assume I wrote it. This was really a good feedback. So I kept on using the special combination. Well, all I can say now is in less than 90 days, using this special combination that that video talked about, I'm now completely free of arthritis. I have no sort of joint pain at all. I can now walk around with no pain. I can now bend as I like. I have no swelling in my joints, and I can carry my child with no pain at all. That's okay. Wait. First of all, there's a point I skipped. Who can tell me what I skipped here?
Sir, number 14, going for test to get reassurance.
Okay, who can tell me why I skipped it? Please, you are disturbing me. Who can tell me why I skipped it?
Because she didn't go to the hospital, or it was just her sister that was aware of her predicament.
No, she was admitted in the hospital when she
Just assistant
that
about
I went
arthritis.
to Ghana.
Why she didn't go for reassurance? Because basically what she was feeling was a pain. She was in pain, joint pain, and in the solution. So it's something you are feeling. It's not something that you need reassurance on. And basically, when she was using Agbo, it is usually for a short period of time, and the pain will become worse. But this one, there is like consistency in the solution. So
That's good. That's very good. Well done. So one thing about arthritis compared to other diseases, see, high blood pressure is a silent killer. Diabetes too is very similar. You might have had it for 10 years and you will not know. You might even have been having symptoms and you will not know. But one thing about arthritis is just severe joint pain. Do you understand? So you will know you have it. Do you understand? And one thing you should know about Nigerians is Nigerians rarely go to hospital except the situation is very critical. Do you understand? So when she was using the new formula she discovered, and then she was, for a long duration of time, she was no longer in pain. There's no need to go to the hospital for a doctor to confirm to you that you are no longer in pain. No, now, there's no need. Do you understand? Assuming it was high blood pressure now, you still need to take readings to confirm. If it was diabetes, you still need to take readings to confirm. Arthritis, you don't need any readings. You just know that I'm no longer feeling pain. Finish. Do you understand me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So for arthritis, you might not necessarily. That's why I was saying this 19-step pre-sale structure I gave you, you don't need to be rigid with it. Be very flexible with it. See, the most important part, let me just show you guys the most important part. The most important part that must always be there. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Number 4 and 5, you can mix it up. Do you understand? Then you can now be flexible with every other one. Do you understand? So your story should just transition like this. Let me just give you a brief summary. You should talk about, after your headline, after introduction, your story should talk about the person's personal story, how the person found out he had the illness, maybe symptoms and earlier signs that they've had. If they've not had, maybe how they landed in the hospital, and then how they got to know they had symptoms. Then you now start talking about things they've used that did not work. Do you understand? How they've tried several things, how they were frustrated, how they were depressed, and they thought the condition was the end for them. Then you will now introduce the unique solution. Do you understand? Then the unique solution will obviously not work instantly. To take a while to work. Then when it now works, like that, they are now happy that their life is back, that they've been able to regain all what they could not do. Do you understand? So that's just how the story should follow. Do you understand? So this 19-step structure is just a guideline. Do you understand me? So let's proceed. Okay. I'm now completely free of arthritis. Okay, I go to the, okay, yeah. I'm now completely free of arthritis. I have no sort of joint pain at all. I can walk around with no pain. I can bend as I like. I have no swelling in my joint. I can carry my child with no pain at all. That is not even all. Now I've gotten a new job as a banker, and I'm also engaged to a man who lost my child and I. This is under regaining what she lost. Do you understand? This part got back what she lost due to the illness. Do you get? So you can also infuse something like that. Our wedding is just a few months away. I'm so thankful to God that I watched the video that helped reverse my arthritis. And I also appreciate my sister for encouraging me to follow the method in the video. If you'd also like to watch the video that helped reverse my arthritis and change my story, click the link below to watch the video presentation now. Then your call to action, click here to watch the video. So that's the 3 examples, guys. That's 3 examples of this thing, like for the 3 different products. So any questions so far before I teach you guys writing headlines, like how you can write headlines? Any questions so far? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, ask your question.
Okay, sir, please, must your call to action be watch this video?
Yeah, the thing is, there's a way Johnny's funnels are. Funnels mean like the step of each of our marketing, each of our marketing step. First of all, you run your Facebook ad. When they click from your Facebook ad, they will land on your pre-sale. Then from your pre-sale, there's a general company VSL. Do you understand me? Let me show you. There's a general company VSL. Let me show you an example. Let me click this call to action so you see. So I've clicked the call to action. I'm coming. Let's load up. So there's a VSL to load fully. Do you understand? So what that VSL does is, see, your ad, the job of your ad is to attract them to click through to read your pre-sale. Do you understand? What your pre-sale is now doing, the job of your pre-sale is to prep their mind that they are going to watch a video. So it is the video that will now do the convincing them that they should pay to get products. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So that's why your call to action has to always be click here to watch the video, to watch the video present, to watch the video that changed my life, or to watch the video. You always click to watch the video, except maybe Janice, they now say, okay, we want to write a sales, want to start writing a sales page. Then maybe we'll say, click through to see how this can also help you. Do you understand? So it's better you prep their mind for them to know they are going to watch a video. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. So another question. Orokbasi, ask a question.
Okay, good evening.
I think you're using the earpiece or something because I can't hear you properly. Or AirPod.
Good morning, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. Go on.
Okay, in this copywriting and when you are trying to advertise your product, there's something I discovered. I want to know if it is normal. I discovered in this arthritis, for instance, it looks as if it was trying to downplay other solutions like balm and painkiller. Is it normal to do that? Then it's like now promoting your own as, there are some persons that those things might work for them. But through this headline, it looks as if this other solution is more favorable than others. Is it advisable to do it that way?
Okay, all right. I like that question. That's a very good question. So one thing you should know is, see, anybody that reads this copy and then balms, painkillers, and creams have worked for will not bother reading the copy. Do you understand?
Okay.
They will not bother it. That's why you should call out your audience. What I did with this headline is I called out the people. That's why I was saying call out your audience yesterday. What I did with this headline is I called out the people that have been using all these things and that it has not worked for. Okay, let's say, for example, now somebody has been battling arthritis, and they see your ad, and they've used maybe Rob or Aboniki, and it has worked for them. If they see your ad, they will not even bother clicking it. Why? Because they are no longer suffering from it. Do you understand? And the people that are clicking your ad, one thing you should know is they've definitely used a lot of things. Do you understand me?
Yes.
So if they've used a lot of things, and it has not worked, and it has not worked for them, they are the ones that will click it. You understand? So you talking about other product that has not worked for them, you are just telling them that those things that they've used that has not worked will not help them. Do you understand me? Let's say, for example, now, Basi, God forbid, let's say you've been struggling with arthritis for a while, you've been struggling with joint pain, and then you use Aboniki, and Aboniki has worked for you, and then you are no longer struggling with arthritis. If you see this, will you read through it?
No, I won't.
Exactly. So what I've done with this headline is I'm calling out people that have used a lot of things. They have used creams, they have used balms, they have used painkillers, and it has not worked for them. Do you understand?
Okay, I do.
Yeah, do you get? So it's not like I'm trying to downplay other things. That's why if you even see my copy, I did not call any brand name. I did not call Abonika, I did not call Rob. I only said creams, balms, painkillers. Do you understand? So one thing you should know is these people have used other things. These people have used other things. So I'm just calling with this headline. I've only just called out people that have tried several things that it has not worked for. Do you understand? That there's a new chance for them, and there's a new solution that will work for them. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, all right. That's a very good question. So Samuel Oluboji.
Okay, sir. My question goes thus.
Wait, sorry, please, Orokbasi, drop your hand.
Okay, sir. So the last
the line was breaking.
Okay, sir. So, sir, I was saying in the situation whereby the lady used Agbo first of all before she went, she slumped and went to the hospital, and later was given medication but no improvement. So, can we say the first one was the common solution?
Definitely. That's why I said you can be flexible with it.
Okay, sir.
You can even say she not go to any hospital. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You can say she not go to any hospital, that she just used this thing, that she just used balms, creams, she just used agbo, because it's not everybody that has money to go to hospital. Do you understand? Let's say your copy is about a grandma in a village now. She will most likely not have money to go to hospital.
Okay, sir.
She will most likely not have money to go to hospital. So you, in that kind of situation, you can say she did this thing, that she just what's it called? She used agbo, she used balm, she used cream. She did not find anything. Do you understand? So it depends. The one thing you should know again is, see, it's not every time you see Nigerians rarely go to hospital except they are dying or they are almost dying. When last have you gone to hospital? Like when you had when you felt somehow?
Last year.
So it's
I actually prefer to go to church than hospital, sir.
exactly because they don't want to pay money. Do you get? So if you would say the person went to hospital, it has to be a critical condition. It has to be something critical that will carry the person to the hospital. If you look at all my pre-sales, all the examples I showed you, first of all, the matriculation one, the man had an heart attack. He was rushed to the medical center. The second one, the man who had an heart attack, the diabetes one, with his son that drove him to the hospital. The man also had an heart attack. That was why he went to, what was it called? To the hospital. This lady here, why did she go to the hospital? She had stiffness in her knees. She was on the staircase and she was trying to force her leg to move, so she would rest on the railings. She lost her footings and then she fell. And that was how she passed out, and they carried her to the hospital. Do you understand? So it has to be something critical. If you are if you are writing your copy and then you are saying, I began to experience symptoms of high blood pressure like headache and fatigue, so I went to the hospital. Oh, I don't know, Sha, but see, it's yet to see Nigeria. That thing is already like a cultural something. Even Nigerians that have money don't just go to hospital. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
They would rather go to a chemist and get drug, or call their pastor to pray for them, or you know all those things now. They mostly go to chemists, call their pastors, ask their family members that what can they use, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Do you understand? So this hospital thing is not compulsory. Do you understand? But one thing you should now know is, mostly for diabetes and high blood pressure, when the person the person most time has to go for tests for reassurance. You understand? Because you need an expert to understand what's it called, high blood pressure and diabetes. Do you understand me? So they will need to go to the hospital for reassurance for that. Do you get? Then also, it's also advised that they go to the hospital to confirm that they are suffering from high blood pressure and diabetes. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So any other question? You can drop your hand, Samuel. Any other question? Any other question? Okay, let's go on. So I'll just, in the absence of any, I'll just teach you how to do headlines shortly, and I'll give you assignments. So okay, now, so there are some things you need to know. Like, I've showed you guys the 19-step pre-sales structure. So there's one I did not show you, writing a catchy headline. So I'll just show you shortly, like how you can write a catchy headline. So I won't give you formats for writing headline. I'll just show you some laws that you need to obey when writing your headline. So first of all, law one you should obey is your headline should call out your audience or depict what it says you are talking about. So let's go to the examples I've shown you. So if you look at this, I'm coming. Why is it loading up again? Okay, so if you look at this example here, does he obey the first law of you should call out your audience or depict what it is you are trying to talk about? Does he obey the first law?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
How
sir.
does
It
he obey
obeys
the
the
first
first
law?
law. It's capture the audience because the headlines capture the heart of the audience. That's why.
Let me show you the first law again. The first law is your headline should depict, it should call out your audience or depict what you are trying to talk about. So let me ask, how does it depict to talk about?
So the headline is talking about blood pressure, BP. So if I'm calling out
Talking about
blood pressure,
how you depict that? Simple as that. Do you understand? So anybody that has high blood pressure will most likely take a pause and check this out. Do you understand? Because it's talking about that. Okay. So let's go on to law 2. Law 2 says it should intrigue curiosity. So does he obey law 2?
Yes.
Does he obey law 2?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It does.
How does he obey law 2?
The-
How does he obey law 2?
During my I almost lost
During
the
my
battle.
daughter's matriculation, I almost lost the battle to high BP. So it's
It's
yes, it's emotional. Sir. It's emotional.
Yeah, so the thing is, the way it builds curiosity is because during doctors' do you understand me? So even much more, people that are struggling with high blood pressure, do you understand?
Sleeping a little bit.
Sorry, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
I hear you
My
now.
network broke. My network broke. What did you hear last?
My network broke.
You said the last thing you said is that the number 3
You
must
don't
not
have
be
to obey the
obeyed.
third law always.
Okay, yeah. So one thing now, you don't need to obey the third law always. Like, see, the third law says you should obey the law of VFL.
Yes, sir.
What's the need for me? Like, what's the need for the audience? So looking at this line,
Yes, sir. I can hear you clearly, sir.
does he obey the third law? Does he obey the third law?
Yes,
I'd say did not.
He did
No,
not,
did
but he
not.
still converted well. You understand? People that are reading this, they will just say they just want to read. You understand? Like, why would you even join it in the noisy background in the first place? Emmanuel David. Oh. So in the third law, yet it still performed very well. Still performed very well. You get. So one thing is, as long as you call out your audience and you intrigue curiosity, they will be curious enough to know what you've written. So that's why you don't need to obey the third law always. Do you understand me? So now let's see another headline. This is another headline again. So does he obey the first law?
Yes.
It does.
Guys, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. We can. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, how does he obey the first law?
Because he's talking about diabetes.
about diabetes.
Good. It calls out your audience by talking about diabetes. He almost fitted into diabetes. So does he obey the second law?
Talk about diabetes. Diabetes.
Yes, it
Does
does.
he obey the second law? He should intrigue
Yeah.
curiosity.
Yes, sir.
It does.
Yes.
Please, can you speak one at a time? Raise your hand if you want to talk. Okay, oh yeah, Abdul Rahman, oh yeah, go on.
For the first law, obviously, you mentioned diabetes. So people with diabetes should be attracted to the post. That's one. Second law, for it to raise your curiosity. When you read the headline that 14 years old son had to drive me to the medical center in an emergency, you'll be like, wow, what happened? Why is it that it was your 14 years old? What led to that? Why will a 14-year-old be driving? What would have happened to have made a 14-year-old drive the father to the health center? So that was the curiosity. And for the third law, I don't think there's nothing, it's not here. He didn't obey the fourth law, sir. The third law, rather.
Yeah, he didn't obey the third law too, but he still converted also. So see, the reason why I'm saying doesn't have to always obey the third law is because as long as you call out your audience and you make them curious enough, they will read through. Not everybody will read through. Some people will skim through. Do you understand? And they will read it. Do you understand? You've already achieved your aim like that. Do you understand me? So now let's go to another example. So now let's go to this example. So who wants to try? Does he obey the first, second, and third law? Okay, Jembi Emmanuel, try.
It obeyed the first law because it's stuck. Okay, because you mentioned arthritis in it.
No, he didn't mention. Okay, he did. He did
Yeah,
actually.
Yes.
But aside that, what else did he mention?
Okay, pains now, joint pains.
Yeah,
and,
joint pain. Joint
yes.
pain. Okay, good. Then there's something else. Bumps, painkillers, creams. Do you understand? Those are words that people that are struggling with joint pain are used to. So sometimes it does not necessarily have to be the condition that they are going through that you say. Do you understand? It can just be, it can see, like if you are talking to a Nigerian now, let's say you meet a Nigerian abroad, you don't need to tell the person you're a Nigerian for the person to know you're a Nigerian. By some things you say, the person will know that you're a Nigerian. Do you understand? If you say NEPA, the person will know you're a Nigerian. Right. You understand? So it does not necessarily have to be that you will say that diabetes. See, if I had said that my 14 years old son had to drive me to the medical center when I fainted because of my high blood sugar, that's the word that is common with people with diabetes. So you still call them out. Do you understand me? You've called them out like that. So it does not necessarily, you can call them out to words they are familiar with. Do you understand? See, for example, now somebody, if you show, I'm coming. If you run an ad, I'm coming. Let me Google this. Why is my tea not working? I'm coming. If you run as
Have blood pressure.
exactly, do you understand? And yet
Those with
I've not said
the
anything
high
about
blood
high blood pressure.
pressure.
Do you understand? Exactly, and yet I've not said anything about high blood pressure. So you don't necessarily you don't need to mention the condition every time. Do you understand? You can just do familiar things. Do you understand? So that's why I said bam, also a way of calling out people with joint pain. These are things that are familiar that they use very well. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now go on a Gembi. So law 2, does he obey law 2?
Yes, it does, because most people wonder why a 26-year-old should have arthritis and even be wondering why her husband would die so early. So people really want to read this story.
Okay, all right, that's good. Aside that, why else do you think it intrigues curiosity?
And she has been battling it for years. It's not as if it's just starting. So to me, it's if she has been battling arthritis for years, it will intrigue me to read it because she's very young.
Okay, that's one. There's something you missed out. See, BAMs,
Sir.
painkillers, and creams. Yeah?
Yeah, I feel when you mentioned the first one, the arthritis, then the fact that she's a widow and she's young. Now, it will raise the curiosity of people that are currently using BAMs, painkiller, and cream for their arthritis, and it's probably not working for them. Like they're not getting the results they are expecting. So they'll be like, wow, so someone had used this before and is saying that, okay, I wish I knew earlier. So they would want to, so that's what I feel.
Okay, if I had only used this headline, let's imagine that this one was not there. Like this 26 years old down to this place. Let's imagine that it was not there. If I had only used this headline, I wish I knew earlier that BAMs, painkillers, and creams were only worsening my joints pain. Would you say it obeys law 1 and 2? A Gembi?
Yes, I would.
How would you obey law 2?
Okay, to obey law 2, because for somebody who has been using BAMs, be taking regular antisteroids and using antisteroidal creams, and it's not working for the person, so it will intrigue the person to read it.
To intrigue them, because why? Like, you are not just telling them that those things are not working. You are telling them that they have the potential of worsening their condition. Do you understand? So they will be scared enough to read through your copy. One thing you should know in copywriting is don't be like, say those triggering words. Do you understand? Get people emotional. When people are connected emotionally, that's when you can get them to take action. Do you understand? You have to be able to trigger people emotionally. That's when you can get them to take action. Okay, all right. So now, does he obey the third law?
No, it doesn't, sir.
Look at it where and check.
No, it doesn't.
Let me show you the third law.
So let me see the law again, sir, please.
It does.
The law is what's in it for me.
Okay, who said it does?
It doesn't. Let me.
Who said it does?
So I feel it does.
Okay, how does it obey the third law?
So from the capture, I think for someone that has been using BAMs, painkillers, and other creams and has been worsening pain, So there's a solution. So there's something in for the person. This is a solution to such sickness, arthritis.
Okay. Who else wants to try? Who wants to try? Okay, let me just explain. It depends on how you look at it. You might look at it and say it doesn't. Yeah, somehow correct, but it actually does. Let me show you. So law 3 says you should obey the law of what's in it for me. Do you understand? So if I said I wish I knew earlier that BAM's painkillers creams only was in my joint pain, 26 years old Nigerian widowed Nigerian mother who battled arthritis for years, shares how she was later able to find a solution. I've already showed that it obeys the law of what's in it for me. But now, if you say, I wish I knew earlier that, as I said, I wish I knew earlier that BAM's painkillers and creams were only worsening my joint pains. Do you understand? 26 years old widowed Nigerian mother who battled arthritis shares her story. So from here, I wish I knew earlier that BAM's painkillers, creams were only worsening my joint pain. And then she shares her story. So what's she doing? It does not say what's in it for me in the sense that there's a solution. Do you understand? But it's saying what's in it for me in the sense that you are going to get to know how all these BAMs, painkillers, and creams might also be worsening your joint pain. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So it doesn't obey the law of we FM. It doesn't obey the law of we FM, like what's in it for me in the sense that there's a solution, but it's obeying it in the sense that people that have been battling with joint pain and then you've been using BAMs, painkillers, and creams, it might be worsening things for you. Do you understand? So it is telling them that what's in it for them is that they are going to get to know, or they are potentially going to get to know how those things might only be worsening things for them. Do you understand? Guys, do you understand? I'm not speaking to a JMB alone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we understand.
Yes, sir, we understand.
So that's that. So we've come to the end of today's class. So tomorrow, I'm going to give you an assignment. You are going to submit. So Mr. Sheyi will teach you. Mr. Sheyi, are you here? Facebook ads, primary text, and you guys are going to submit your assignment